you left the UFC, and as you say, you went to Bellator, and did you have other opportunities then, aside from just the fighting? Know what I mean? Did you have bigger things as well?
Working on bigger things, yeah. You know, with the UFC, it was a time for me to walk away. Once again, I was going through a horrible relationship, and that wasn't helping at all. You know, I went on a 5-year with losing streak, which I was in my relationship that whole time of that 5-year losing streak. And I come to realize that the psychological side of it is a huge part of every fighter. And when you have someone every day telling you you're a piece of shit dad and you're a piece of shit person, and it was their problem, it came to a factor that I had to walk away, you know, and Dana didn't help at all. You know, he was always on my ass, and I get it. We had our battles against each other. You know, we're two alpha males in a room and having a pissing contest, and you don't want to get a pissing contest with Dana. And I really didn't understand it at the time because I was a kid learning. And I look back on it, and I probably shouldn't have wore a t-shirt that said Dana's my bitch. I admit that. That's probably one of my biggest mistakes.
That's one of the most iconic pictures in UFC history, though, to be fair. It is. Like, that because obviously I started watching the sport after that. I saw that like years later and was just like, wow.
Yeah, we had it at each other's necks, and when we were good friends prior to that. You know, he was my manager before he was UFC president. We had good times together, and you know, I miss those. You know, he's a really good dude, and but you know, business comes first. I get it. He was in a route of making UFC huge or what it is today, and you know, I really didn't see that vision that he had. I wish I would have. I think I would have played things a little differently. But you know, at the end of the day, I learned negotiation from him. It was either his way or no way, and that's the way I thought. I said, "It's my way or no way." And I think that might have been my little mistake, but you know, he's a few years older than me. We were so close friends that we talked shit to each other all the time that I thought talking shit is okay. But I think he took to heart a lot of things that I said, and I took to heart a lot of things he said. You know, of him calling me, you know, a pussy or a stupid man. It's like, a stupid man can't be a multimillionaire. A stupid man can't run a business. A stupid man can't, you know, run a family. I think in my mind, and successfully, I've done through my career. I'm very fortunate. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here on your podcast if I wasn't a name or if I wasn't a smart businessman. So I take it, you know, like a grain of salt from him, things he says sometimes. But when you say it over and over and over again, you make people believe it. And it's a shame, man. I wish I was kind of accepted to the UFC a lot more than I am now. But I get it. It is what it is. I can go on the backside of it and go through other fighters and go through other organizations and do other movie stuff and things like that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here for a while, a long time actually. You know, I got a family to build, my children, and hopefully build other fighters to be the next Tito Ortiz's or to be the next baddies. You know, it's important to. You always got to give back. You know, I don't ever want to be a taker. I'm always a giver. I always want to give back and make sure I do the right thing in this world right now. So when I'm long gone, people look back and go, that Tito Ortiz guy, he actually was a good dude. That's important to me. It's really important. It's important to my children too. You know, knowing that their father was a hardworking person that was willing to do anything to help the sport and to help his family. It's important to me.
Yeah, you're definitely going to leave a legacy. You don't need to worry about that, and a good legacy. But the way you mentioned Dana White, I have to ask, because you were meant to box at one point, wasn't you? We were meant to actually have a boxing match.
Yes, that actually was supposed to happen. It was in a contract and everything.
That's crazy.
But when it was supposed to be 50-50 on any money that was revenued from the fight. And then when it came about to the contract to sign, and I've always signed a bout agreement for a fight that I was doing, that wasn't in it. I wasn't making nothing out of it. It was a lose-lose situation for me. And I said, the fight's not happening. And this was a month before the fight. They showed on Spike TV for a 3-hour session of Dana flying around in his Lear jets, getting ready for the fight and everything. It was never supposed to happen. There was an opportunity for Dana to be a superstar, and he got that position, and he ran with it, you know, and he did well. He did it well. Me and Danny used to spar a lot when I first got into it because I never knew how to box. And then, you know, as I got the better of him, and I got bigger and I got faster and I got stronger and I was the world champion, he was like, all right, me and you can't spar anymore. I go, why? He goes, you're hurting me, man. I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine. But then there was negotiating one of my contracts, and I said to Lorenzo, I said, but we need to put this clause in that me and Dana will box on TV. And we're supposed to do it on Spike, and ended up the contract came and said I was not making zero off of it. I was like, hold on a second. I thought you said we're going to do 50-50. He's like, no, we can't do that. I was like, well, then I'm not fighting. I go, but just don't go on the scale and saying Tito's a no-show and he's afraid to fight me. Well, shit, that's exactly what he did. But it is what it is. And everybody kind of questions it of why I didn't fight him. And let me tell you, I'm not fighting anybody for free. And he was doing it to make a name of himself, and he did well. And it was a lose-lose situation for me and a win-win situation for him. And like I say, to this date, he wouldn't have lasted out of the second round. No way. But that is what it is. And
well, there's the clarity.
I try to stand my ground.
There's the clarity for everyone that ever asked you about it. Everyone knows now. That's why it never happened. Because the 50-50 split went in there. And I can understand that, because I wouldn't fight for free either. Who's going to fight for free?
A 22-year-old Tito Ortiz in his first fight, UFC 13, who didn't give a As you get older, you realize that you got to make sure you're able to provide for your family, because this fight career can only be so long. You know, some guys only have a 5-year fight career. Some guys only have a 10-year fight career. Some guys only have a 15-year fight career. And there's not many guys who have a 25-year fight career like I've had. And I've been fortunate. I've been smart about it. And the only damage I've ever taken that was super bad, it was to my spine. You know, I had lower back surgery. I've had 4 neck surgeries, but I've had a great surgeon. I'm very thankful of it, because I've been able to heal 100%. You know, no problems, no aches, no pains. My body's doing good. It's kind of like my body got, rejuvenated. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, well, because we mentioned boxing,